Reggie. Lao's wake. Lao Tan lay dead. Qin Shi attended the wake. He let out 3 yells and went home. One of the disciples said, "Were you not the master's friend?" "Certainly," he replied. "It is then sufficient for you to mourn no better than you have just done." "In the beginning, Qin Shi, I thought he was the greatest of men no longer. When I came to mourn, I found old men lamenting him as their son, young men sobbing as though for their mother. How did he bind them to himself so tight, if not by words he should never have said, and tears he should never have wept? He weakened his true being. He laid on load upon load. Load of emotion increased the enormous reckoning. He forgot the gift God had entrusted to him. This the ancients called punishment for neglecting the true self. The master came at his right time into the world. When his time was up, he left it again. He who awaits his time, who submits when his work is done. In this life there is no room for sorrow or for rejoicing. Here is how the ancients said all this in 4 words. God cuts the thread. We have seen a fire of sticks burn out. The fire now burns in some other place where, who knows, these brands are burnt out. Confucius and the Madman. When Confucius was visiting the state of Chu, along came Kia Yu, the madman of Chu, and sang outside the master's door, "O Phoenix, Phoenix, where's your virtue gone? It cannot reach the future or bring the past again. When the world makes sense, the wise have work to do. They can only hide when the world's askew. Today, if you can stay alive, lucky are you, try to survive. Joy is feather-light, but who can carry it? Sorrow falls like a landslide, who can parry it? Never, never teach virtue more, you walk in danger, beware, beware, even ferns can cut your feet. When I walk crazy, I walk right, but am I a man to imitate? The tree in the mountain height is its own enemy. The grease that feeds the light devours itself. The cinnamon tree is edible, so cut it down. The lacquer tree is profitable, they maim it. Every man knows how useful it is to be useful. No one seems to know how useful it is to be useless. Alright, this is philosophyvideos.com. We'll end it there on page 60. The Way of Chuang-Tzu by Thomas Merton. The next chapter will be The True Man. The true man. What is meant by a true man? The true men of old were not afraid. When they stood alone in their views, no great exploits, no plans. If they failed, no sorrow, no self-congratulation and success. They scaled cliffs, never dizzy. Plunged in water, never wet. Walked through fire and were not burnt. Thus, their knowledge reached all the way to Tao. The true men of old slept without dreams, woke without worries. Their food was plain. They breathed deep. True men breathe from their heels. Others breathe with their gullets, half strangled. In dispute they heave up arguments like vomit. Where the fountains of passion lie deep, the heavenly springs are soon dry. The true men of old knew no lust for life, no dread of death. Their entrance was without gladness, their exit yonder, without resistance, easy come, easy go. They did not forget where from, nor ask where to, nor drive grimly forward, fighting their way through life. They took life as it came gladly, took death as it came without care, and went away yonder, yonder. They had no mind to fight Tao. They did not try by their own contriving to help Tao along. These are all the ones we call true men. Minds free, thoughts gone, brows clear, faces serene. Were they cool? Only cool as autumn. They were hot, no hotter than spring. All that came out of them came quiet like the 4 seasons. Metamorphosis. 4 men got in a discussion. Each one said, "Who knows how to have the void for his head, to have life as his backbone and death as his tail? He shall be my friend." At this they all looked at one another, saw they agreed, burst out laughing, and became friends. Then one of them fell ill, and another went to see him. "Great is the Maker," said the sick one, "who has made me as I am. I am so doubled up, my guts are over my head. Upon my navel I rest my cheek. My shoulders stand out beyond my neck. My crown is an ulcer surveying the sky. My body is chaos, but my mind is in order." He dragged himself to the wall, saw his reflection, and declared, "What a mess he has made of me." His friend asked, "Are you discouraged?" "Not at all. Why should I be? If he takes me apart and makes a rooster of my left shoulder, I shall announce the dawn. If he makes a crossbow of my right shoulder, I shall procure roast duck. If my buttocks turn into wheels, and if my spirit is a horse, I will hitch myself up and ride around in my own wagon. There is a time for putting together and another time for taking apart. He who understands this course of events takes each new state in its proper time, with neither sorrow nor joy. The ancients said the hanged man cannot cut himself down, but in due time nature is stronger than all his ropes and bonds. It was always so. Where is there a reason to be discouraged? Man is born in Tao. Fishes are born in water. Man is born in Tao. If fishes born in water seek the deep shadow of pond and pool, all their needs are satisfied. If man born in Tao sinks into the deep shadow of non-action, to forget aggression and concern, he lacks nothing, his life is secure. Moral, all the fish needs is to get lost in water, all man needs is to get lost in Tao. 2 kings and no form. The South Sea King was act on your hunch. The North Sea King was act in a flash. The king of the place between them was no form. How South Sea King and North Sea King used to go together often to the land of no form. He treated them well. So they consulted together. They thought up a good turn, a pleasant surprise for no form, in token of appreciation. Men, they said, have 7 openings for seeing, hearing, eating, breathing, and so on, but no form has no openings. Let's make him a few holes. So after that they put holes in no form, 1 a day for 7 days, and when they finished the 7th opening, their friend lay dead. Lao Tan said, "To organize is to destroy." Cracking the safe. For security against robbers who snatch purses, rifle luggage, and crack safes, one must fasten all property with ropes, lock it up with locks, bolt it with bolts. This for property owners is elementary good sense. But when a strong thief comes along, he picks up the whole lot, puts it on his back, and goes on his way with only one fear, that ropes, locks, and bolts may give way. Thus, when the world calls good business is only a way to gather up the loot, pack it, make it secure in one convenient load for the more enterprising thieves. Who is there among those called smart, who does not spend his time amassing loot for a bigger robber than himself? In the land of Ki, from village to village, you could hear cocks crowing, dogs barking, fishermen cast their nets. Plowmen plowed the wide fields. Everything was neatly marked out by boundary lines. 400 or 500 square miles. There were temples for ancestors, altars for field gods, and corn spirits. Every canton, county, and district was run according to the laws and statutes, until one morning the Attorney General, Tian Kang Zhu, did away with the king and took over the whole estate. Was he content to steal the land? No. He also took over the laws and statutes at the same time, and all the lawyers with them, not to mention the police. They all formed part of the same package. Of course, people called King Zhu a robber, but they left him alone to live as happy as the patriarchs. No small state would say a word against him. No large state would make a move in his direction. So for 12 generations, the state of Qi belonged to his family. No one interfered with his inalienable rights. The invention of weights and measures makes robbery easier. Signing contracts, setting seals, makes robbery more sure. Teaching love and duty provides a fitting language with which to prove that robbery is really for the general good. A poor man must swing for stealing a belt buckle, but if a rich man steals a whole state, he is acclaimed as Statesman of the Year. Hence, if you want to hear the very best speeches on love, duty, justice, etc., listen to Statesmen. But when the creek dries up, nothing grows in the valley. When the mound is leveled, the hollow next to it is filled, and when the statesmen and lawyers and preachers of duty disappear, there are no more robberies either, and the world is at peace. Moral: the more you pile up ethical principles and duties and obligations to bring everyone in line, the more you gather loot. For a thief like King, by ethical argument and moral principle, the greatest crimes are eventually shown to have been necessary and, in fact, a signal benefit to mankind. Leaving things alone. I know about letting the world alone, not interfering. I do not know about running things, letting things alone so that men will not blow their nature out of shape, not interfering so that men will not be changed into something they are not. When men do not get twisted and maimed beyond recognition, when they are allowed to live, the purpose of government is achieved. Too much pleasure? Yang has too much influence. Too much suffering? Yin has too much influence. When one of those outweighs the other, it is as if the seasons came at the wrong times. The balance of cold and heat is destroyed. The body of man suffers. Too much happiness, too much unhappiness. Out of due time, men are thrown off balance. What will they do next? Thought runs wild, no control. They start everything, finish nothing. Here competition begins. Here the idea of excellence is born, and robbers appear in the world. Now the whole world is not enough reward for the good, nor enough punishment for the wicked. Since now the world itself is not big enough for reward or punishment. From the time of the 3 dynasties, men have been running in all directions. How can they find time to be human? You train your eye and your vision lusts after color. You train your ear and you long for delightful sound. You delight in doing good, and your natural kindness is blown out of shape. You delight in righteousness, and you become righteous beyond all reason. You overdo liturgy, and you turn into a ham actor. Overdo your love of music, and you play corn. Love of wisdom leads to wise contriving. Love of knowledge leads to fault-finding. If men would stay as they really are, taking or leaving, these 8 delights would make no difference. But if they will not rest in their right state, the 8 delights develop like malignant tumors. The world falls into confusion since men honor these delights and lust after them. The world has gone stone blind. When the delight is over, they still will not let go of it. They surround its memory with ritual worship. They fall on their knees to talk about it, play music and sing, fast and discipline themselves in honor of the 8 delights. When the delights become a religion, how can you control them? The wise man then, when he must govern, knows how to do nothing, letting things alone, though he rests in his original nature. He who will govern will respect the governed no more than he respects himself. If he loves his own person enough to let it rest in its original truth, he will govern others without hurting them. Let him keep the deep drives in his own guts from going into action. Let him keep still, not looking, not hearing. Let him sit like a corpse, with the dragon power alive all around him. In complete silence, his voice will be like thunder. His movements will be invisible like those of a spirit, but the powers of heaven will go with them. Unconcerned, doing nothing, he will see all things grow ripe around him. Where will he find time to govern? The kingly man. My master said, that which acts on all and meddles in none is heaven. The kingly man realizes this, hides it in his heart, grows boundless, wide-minded, draws all to himself, and so he lets the gold lie hidden in the mountain, leaves the pearl lying in the deep, goods and possessions are no gain in his eyes. He stays far from wealth and honor. Long life is no ground for joy, nor early death for sorrow. Success is not for him to be proud of. Failure is no shame. Had he all the world's power, he would not hold it as his own. If he conquered everything, he would not take it to himself. His glory is in knowing that all things come together in one, and life and death are equal. How deep is Tao? My master said, Tao, how deep, how still its hiding place. Tao, how pure. Without this stillness, metal would not ring. Stone, when struck, would give no answer. The power of sound is in the metal, and Tao in all things. When they clash, they ring with Tao, and are silent again. Who is there now to tell all things in their places? The king of life goes his way free, inactive, unknown. He would blush to be in business. He keeps his deep roots down in the orge and down in the spring. His knowledge is enfolded in spirit, and he grows great, opens a great heart, a world's refuge. Without forethought, he comes out in majesty. Without plan, he goes his way, and all things follow him. This is the kingly man who rides above life. This one sees in the dark, hears where there is no sound. In the deep dark he alone sees light. In soundlessness he alone perceives music. He can go down into the lowest of low places and find people. He can stand in the highest of high places and see meaning. He is in contact with all beings. That which is not goes his way. That which moves is what he stands on. Great is small for him, long is short for him, and all his distances are near. The lost pearl, the yellow emperor, went wandering to the north of the red water, to the Kwanlun mountain. He looked around over the edge of the world. On the way home he lost his night-colored pearl. He sent out science to seek his pearl and got nothing. He sent analysis to look for his pearl and got nothing. He sent out logic to seek his pearl and got nothing. Then he asked nothingness, and nothingness had it. The yellow emperor said, strange indeed, nothingness, who was not sent, who did not work to find it, had the night-colored pearl. In my end is my beginning. In the beginning of beginnings was void of void, the nameless. And in the nameless was the one, without body, without form, this one. This being in whom all find power to exist is the living. From the living comes the formless, the undivided. From the act of this formless come the existence, each according to its inner principle. This is form, here body embraces and cherishes spirit. The two work together as one, blending and manifesting their characters, and this is nature. But he who obeys nature returns through form and formless to the living, and in the living joins the unbegun beginning. The joining is sameness, the sameness is void, the void is infinite. The bird opens its beak and sings its note, and then the beak becomes together again in silence, so nature and the living meet together in void, like the closing of the bird's beak after its song. Heaven and earth come together in the unbegun. And all is foolishness, all is unknown, all is like the lights of an idiot, all is without mind. To obey is to close the beak and fall into unbeginning. When life was full, there was no history. In the age when life on earth was full, no one paid any special attention to worthy men, nor did they single out the man of ability. Rulers were simply the highest branches on the tree, and the people were like deer in the woods. They were honest and righteous without realizing that they were doing their duty. They loved each other and did not know that this was love of neighbor. They deceived no one, yet they did not know that they were men to be trusted. They were reliable and did not know that this was good faith. They lived freely together, giving and taking, and did not know that they were generous. For this reason their deeds have not been narrated. They made no history. When a hideous man becomes a father, and a son is born to him in the middle of the night, he trembles and lights a lamp and runs to look in anguish on that child's face to see whom he resembles. The 5 enemies. With wood from 100-year-old tree, they make sacrificial vessels. Covered with green and yellow designs, the wood that was cut away lies unused in the ditch. If we compare the sacrificial vessel with the wood in the ditch, we find them to differ in appearance. One is more beautiful than the other, yet they are equal in this. Both have lost their original nature. So if you compare the robber and the respectable citizen, you find that one is indeed more respectable than the other. Yet they agree in this: they have both lost the original simplicity of man. How did they lose it? Here are the 5 ways. Love of colors bewilders the eye, and it fails to see right. Love of harmonies bewitches the ear, and it loses its true hearing. Love of perfumes fills the head with dizziness. Love of flavors ruins the taste. Desires unsettle the heart until the original nature runs amok. These 5 are enemies of true life, yet these are what man of discernment claim to live for. They are not what I live for. If this is life, then pigeons in a cage have found happiness. Action and non-action. The non-action of the wise man is not inaction. It is not studied. It is not shaken by anything. The sage is quiet because he is not moved, not because he wills to be quiet. Still water is like glass. You can look in it and see the bristles on your chin. It is a perfect level. A carpenter could use it. If water is so clear, so level, how much more the spirit of man? The heart of the wise man is tranquil. It is the mirror of heaven and earth, the glass of everything: emptiness, stillness, tranquility, tastelessness, silence, non-action. This is the level of heaven and earth. This is perfect Tao. Wise men find here their resting place. Resting, they are empty. From emptiness comes the unconditioned, from this the conditioned. The individual thinks, so from the sage's emptiness, stillness arises. From stillness, action. From action, attainment. From their stillness comes their non-action, which is also action, and is therefore their attainment. For stillness is joy. Joy is free from care, fruitful in long years. Joy does all things without concern. For emptiness, stillness, tranquility, tastelessness, silence, and non-action are the root of all things. Du Quan and the wheelwright. The world values books and thinks that it is in so doing it is valuing Tao. But books contain words only, and yet there is something else which gives value to the books, not the words only, nor the thought in the words, but something else within the thought, swinging it in a certain direction that words cannot comprehend. But it is the words themselves that the world values when it commits them to books, and though the world values them, these words are worthless as long as that which gives them value is not held in honor. That which man apprehends by observation is only outward form and color, name and noise, and he thinks that this will put him in possession of Tao. Form and color, name and sound do not reach to reality. That is why he who knows does not say, he who says does not know. How then is the world going to know Tao through words? Duke Huan of Kai, first in his dynasty, sat under his canopy reading his philosophy, and Fian the wheelwright was out in the yard making a wheel. Fian laid aside hammer and chisel, climbed the steps, and said to Duke Huan, "May I ask you, Lord, what is this you are reading?" The Duke said, "The experts, the authorities." And Fian asked, "Alive or dead?" "Dead a long time." "Then," said the wheelwright, "you are reading only the dirt they left behind." Then the Duke replied, "What do you know about it? You are only a wheelwright. You'd better give me a good explanation, or else you must die." The wheelwright said, "Let us look at the affair from my point of view. When I make wheels, if I go easy, they fall apart. If I am too rough, they don't fit. If I am neither too easy nor too violent, they come out right. The work is what I want it to be. You cannot put this into words. You just have to know how it is. I cannot even tell my own son exactly how it is done. And my own son cannot learn it from me. So here I am, 70 years old, still making wheels. The men of old took all they really knew with them to the grave. And so, Lord, what you are reading there is only the dirt they left behind them." All right, we're going to end it there, page 84. The Way of Chuang-Tzu by Thomas Merton. Thanks for coming to philosophyvideos.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Tumblr. Again, this is Philosophy. Okay, Michelle, I hope you enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed it. Okay, this is Epictetus.
A CRM shouldn't weigh your butt.
If you have assumed a character beyond your strength, you have played a poor figure in that, and neglected one that is within your powers. Fellow, you have come to blows at home with a slave. You have turned the household upside down, and thrown the neighborhood into confusion. Do you come to me, then, with airs of assumed modesty? Do you sit down like a sage and criticize my explanation of the readings, and whatever idle babble you say has come into my head? Have you come full of envy and dejected because nothing is sent you from home, and while the discussion is going on, do you sit brooding on nothing but how your father or your brother are disposed towards you? What are they saying about me here? About me there? At this moment they imagine I am making progress and saying he will return perfectly omniscient. I wish I could become omniscient before I return, but that would be very troublesome. No one sends me anything. The baths at Nicopolis are dirty. Things are wretched at home and wretched here. Then they say nobody is any the better for the school. Who comes to the school with a sincere wish to learn, to submit his principles to correction and himself to treatment? Who, to gain a sense of his wants? Why, then be surprised if you carry home from the school exactly what you bring into it. Epictetus, I have often come desiring to hear you speak, and you have never given me any answer. Now, if possible, I entreat you, say something to me. Is there, do you think, replied Epictetus, an art of speaking as of other things? If it is to be done skillfully and with profit to the hearer, yes. And are all profited by what they hear, or only some among them? So that it seems there is an art of hearing as well as of speaking. To make a statue needs skill, to view a statue aright needs skill also, admitted. And I think all will allow that one who proposes to hear philosophers speak needs a considerable training in hearing. Is that not so? Then tell me, on what subject are you able to hear me? Why on good and evil? The good and evil of what? A horse, an ox? No, of a man. Do we know then what man is? What his nature is? That is the idea we have of him. And are our ears practiced in any degree on the subject? Nay, do you understand what nature is? Can you follow me in any degree when I say that I shall have to use demonstration? Do you understand what demonstration is? What true or false is? Must I drive you to philosophy? Show me what good I am to do by discoursing with you. Rouse my desire to do so. The sight, the pasture it loves, stirs in the sheep the desire to feed. Show the stone or a bit of bread and it remains unmoved. Thus we must also have certain natural desires, and one that moves us to speak when we find a listener that is worth his salt, one that himself stirs the spirit. But if he sits by like a stone or a tuft of grass, how can he rouse a man's desire? Then you will say nothing to me. I can only tell you this, that one who knows not who he is and to what end he was born, what kind of world this is, and with whom he is associated therein, one who cannot distinguish good and evil, beauty and foulness, truth and falsehood, will never follow reason in shaping his desires and impulses, and repulsions, nor yet innocent denial or suspension of judgment, but will in one word go about deaf and blind, thinking himself to be somewhat, and then he is in truth.
You've reached Brian Sellers. I'm at him.
Is there anything new in all this? Is not this ignorance?
Buddy,
Hey, how are you doing?
good. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. How's your day going?
Good, good, good.
What are you doing?
I went to the gym, and then I went to and then I'm heading to Nashville tomorrow to visit the family. So my parents asked for some things at Binny's, and they also asked for gummies. So I went to dispensary as well, and yeah, was walking outside. It was nice, sunny. And now home and gonna start packing up. What about you? How's your day? What are you up to?
Yeah, I mean, I went to the gym and I'm just sitting here, enjoying my place and listening to recordings that I made 7 years ago in Redondo Beach, California, and
Uh-huh.
chatting with this chick, Michelle. She's listening in right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice, lovely day. I go to Kansas City tomorrow at like 12 o'clock.
For work,
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah, I fly to KC and then I'm there till like Thursday.
Okay. Doing what with their office building there?
Oh, it's my mom calling. Let me call you back.
Okay, see you, bud.
Hey, mom.
Hi, Johnny. I wonder why the phone didn't ring.
I don't know.
Hmm. How's your day? How's the weather there?
It's been beautiful. Sunset is
Yeah?
amazing right now, yeah.
Nice. Nice. What'd you do today?
I just worked out at the gym, cleaning up, doing things, working around here, getting things ready. I'm going to Kansas City tomorrow for work.
Oh, that's fun. Huh? Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be all right. Wednesday we go to a Kansas City Royals game for like a work event, so it should be fun.
Nice. Plus, they get to eat out, right?
Yeah, we do barbecue. There's incredible food in Kansas City.
Hmm. Hey, so I had a lady. Oh, you saw the email.
No, I didn't see your email.
Oh, no? She went, so put my wrong phone number in my MLS. So I didn't get any phone calls from Thursday. And I got an email today, and an agent said he had tried to call and left messages here. And I said, I never got a single message from you. And so I contacted the guy that gets $4.95 for listing the house. That's all he gets. He says, oh, I don't know where I got the phone number I put in there for you. So I gave him the correct phone number. And the agent brought his buyer over, and she says, I'd like to make an offer. I said, okay. She says, however, I haven't sold my house yet. And you should have seen my shoulders slumped. And I said, oh. She says, can you wait? I said, I don't think I want to wait. I said, the number's been bad for 3 days. I probably would have had other people here looking. So I don't know what she's going to do. Her agent advised her she can go to a bank and try to get a equity loan. I said, that's going to take a couple of weeks right there. Anyway, it's a good thing that first person in saw a spectacular, tidy property and wanted to make an offer, right? Good sign.
Mom, I don't understand. If it's not on the MLS, you're not getting a real good market sample size of offers.
It is
So
in the MLS. my phone number that was with the MLS was wrong. The agents are calling me. Oh,
Well,
get it?
well, what I was gonna say is because you don't have a cell phone, you limit your communication. First of all, do you even have the property on Craigslist?
It went out to all medias that the MLS offers.
Okay, so it's not on Craigslist. Do you know that people from all around the world or all around the United States will shop Craigslist, and you can push them to make an offer through an agent? I'm just saying that the MLS will not put you on Craigslist, but Craigslist will get you thousands of views. Do you know that every tenant in my building here in Chicago, I found them on Craigslist?
For rent?
For rent, but whether it's for rent or for sale, it's the same thing. I've put this property up for sale even on Craigslist. You get responses. I'm just telling you, it's another MLS, but it's technically not MLS. But Craigslist is legit. It's still a top 10 website in the world. And, as someone who has been working on the internet for a lot of years, if you don't have your pictures and your listing up on Craigslist, oh, you're going to miss a lot of potential offers.
Well, I'm too busy to dick around with frauds. I've got a project going that's greater than the sale of this house.
Well, my
I want
point
to get myself in
My
that
point,
place.
my point, you're right about the fact that it is a lot of fraud communication. But what I'm trying to say is like, don't even respond to the communication. Just point them to the MLS listing and leave it at that.
I'm only paying 2%, but even so, it's on your back. You got to pay the receipt.
Listen, if you took my advice, I mean, theoretically, who knows? Maybe you could get 10% more, 20% more. I'm just saying, like, don't be pessimistic. Craigslist is legit. It's real people.
Yeah, I've sold a lot of stuff. I don't even like doing that anymore either. What else is new?
Nothing. I'm flying to Kansas City tomorrow for work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there the whole week, and I got to meet with my manager and all these other people. And truth be told, I have to create what's called furniture packages. And my manager, anyways, there's so much drama, but the whole point is I can't. I'm gonna spend 2 hours tonight rereading a lot of this stuff, but she didn't allow me to go to the training when it was available, and she put me into something else which they canceled. So I'm gonna spend 2 hours tonight, but truth be told, I'm gonna tell them when I get to Kansas City that like we should be able to get this done now. Team me up with somebody who can help me get this done now. Let's not. I don't want to complain. I don't want to file a grievance. I don't want to file a complaint. Like, let's do it.
Don't
And
even use those words.
I'm telling you, I'm not going to tell them those words. I'm telling you that, like, I want to tell them, I want to be transparent and say, like, hey, I'm having difficulty. Can we just do it? Can we knock it out? And if they say no, well then I'll continue on my way. But like I'm approaching that point where like I could file another complaint against my new manager because guess what she told me as I drove her around Chicago for the entire day? Guess what she said to me?
I'm lost. Do you know where we are?
I know where I'm at. You know what my manager told you? I'm telling you what my manager told me as I drove her fat ass around for the entire day. Do you know what she said? I'm going to tell you what she told me, but guess what? This is what she told me. She said, I thought you were a man whore.
What's that?
I don't know. But imagine if I said, I thought you were a woman whore. Imagine if I said that to my manager. My point is, this big fat obese black bitch that I work for, like she already crossed the line with me by calling me a man whore, whatever the fuck
Well,
that
you don't
means.
have anything like that in copy form.
Oh, she said
Nothing's close.
she said it in front of a coworker like a dummy. There's a witness to the fact that she
What's a
called me a
man
man
whore?
whore.
Does that mean you're gay?
I don't know what it means. What it means is I work for a big fat dumb piece of shit is what I'm trying to tell you is like So I have options where I don't even have to go to Kansas City tomorrow. Like I could be really selfish and just go to the VA hospital and say I got a vision problem. Like I
Why
can.
would you even be talking like that? It's a free trip out of town, free food. Be grateful. If you're not prepared, that's why you're talking like that.
Well, the point is like I got the garnishment,
Oh,
letter.
you did?
Yeah, so I got the garnishment. Like it kicks in May 3rd.
How much?
They're gonna take basically 1,000 out of my ass every month for the rest of my life.
That's a payroll?
Straight to payroll, yeah.
That's all right. You got enough left over. What's your remaining balance? About 1,000?
Well, I go from making 4,000 a month after taxes to 3,000 a month after taxes, which is
Oh, that'll help you train yourself to don't spend more than you got.
no, I agree. I agree. It is about running a tight ship and not wasting money and just being
Right.
pragmatic, like cuz
You're just lucky, John, that you got your other arrangements in place. You're lucky they didn't tap the rent.
what do you mean tap the rent? How the fuck can they tap the rent?
They can't tap the rent because they don't know if rent's coming in. And when somebody leaves you and you don't have rent coming in, that's why they tap the payroll.
No, well, that's the amazing thing about my life. It's like I'm a bag man for the bank, and I've put money into this place, but like, I mean, the windows are coming up. It's like the bills don't stop as shit breaks. I really do get the feeling that like I'm on a boat with this house, and it's like I'm constantly patching and
It is.
plugging.
It's an alligator that you're not making
Yeah,
buku excess
yeah,
and repairs are, that's why that property got sold at the time it did because it needed some
yeah,
repairs.
yeah, yeah. Not much though. I gotta say, not much. Like for the most part, it hasn't been overly burdensome. Like, but anyways, I mean, you
Yeah,
never
it's giving you free rent.
kind of like it's not great. Like I could try to raise rent, but the whole thing is, it's like I don't want to go down that line of conversation with you. Like our time is limited, so you got an offer on your place. What did you want to tell me as I was walking into the yoga studio earlier today?
I wasn't calling for anything beneficial.
You
Just
you
probably
said you
saying
got you
hi.
said you got an offer.
Oh, I did? Oh, yeah, well, I got an offer. I don't know what the offer was. They just
Oh.
said that they were going to draw up an offer, but then she said about she needs to sell her place. Could I wait for her?
Fuck
But I'm
that.
not going to do that because if she's been living in the house 35 years and she's divorced and that was the home she raised her kids in, and she works full time for the city of Albuquerque, my guess is the maintenance on her house is probably in terrible condition, and they're going to call her out on all kinds of things when she gets a bid for her place, and that just delays her moving forward on mine. Mine's ready to wrap up. So I guess I was just calling to tell you that my place went on the market and got an offer, first person.
See,
It's
this
not
is
unusual.
well,
That's not
my
unusual for my
point.
properties.
My point is, this is your problem where it's like you get gaslit by any kind of communication. Meaning that, like, if you were really conservative with your communication, this fake ass offer would not even be a waste of your time. Like, once you start getting real offers and you're working with a real agent and you're really selling your property as opposed to, like, fake responding to offers, like, I get it. Like, you're in a process which, like, connects with destiny. That's why I say, like, every tenant I have here, I found on Craigslist. And so, like, to me, it's like if I want to send them a termination letter, I have to question myself because, like, I brought them here. So I'm just trying to tell you that, like, whatever your communication is and how you get your check, and when you finally move out of that place, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know, what do
I
you,
didn't understand anything you just said. It
anyways,
was like garble.
I know it's because, you know, I gotta tell you, like, you're difficult to talk to, but that's not just me talking. Anyways, listen, I hope you have a great night. I'm just calling you back. So, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, everything else.
Okay, have a great night and have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
The cause of all the mistakes and mischances of men since the human race began. This is all I have to say to you, and even this against the grain. Why? Because you have not stirred my spirit, for what can I see in you to stir me? As a spirited horse will stir a judge of horses? A body that you maltreat, your dress that is luxurious, your behavior, your look, nothing whatever. When you want to hear a philosopher, do not say you say nothing to me. Only show yourself worthy or fit to hear, and then you will see how you will move the speaker. But now, when you see brothers apparently good friends and living in accord, do not immediately pronounce anything upon their friendship, though they should affirm it with an oath, though they should declare for us to live apart is a thing impossible. For the heart of a bad man is faithless, unprincipled, inconstant. Now overpowered by one impression, now by another. Ask not the usual questions. Were they born of the same parents, reared together and under the same tutor? But ask this only, in what they place their real interest, whether in outward things or in the will. If in outward things, call them not friends, any more than faithful, constant, brave, or free. Call them not even human beings if you have any sense. But should you hear that these men hold the good to lie only in the will, only in rightly dealing with the things of sense, take no more trouble to inquire whether they are father and son or brothers or comrades of long standing, but sure of this one thing, pronounce as boldly that they are friends as that they are faithful and just. For where else can friendship be found than where modesty is, where there is an interchange of things fair and honest, and of such only? No man can rob us of our will, no man can lord it over that. When disease and death overtake me, I would fain be found engaged in the task of liberating mine own will from the assaults of passion, from hindrance, from resentment, from slavery. Thus would I fain be found employed, so that I may say to God, have I in aught transgressed thy commands? Have I in aught perverted the faculties, the senses, the natural principles that thou didst give me? Have I ever blamed thee or found fault with thine administration? When it was thy good pleasure, I fell sick, and so did other men, but my will consented. Because it was thy pleasure, I became poor, but my heart rejoiced. No power in the state was mine, because thou wouldst not such power I never desired. Hast thou ever seen me of more doleful countenance? On that account have I not ever drawn nigh unto thee with cherished, cheerful look, waiting upon thy commands, attentive to thy signal.
Hey brother, how are things going?
Hey, I mean, things are going. I'm trying to manage my psychology. How are you doing?
I'm alright. Some random girl attacked me on TikTok apparently because I called her shit out. What's up?
Amazing.
Yeah. She posted some video saying like, "Isn't it amazing how Palestinians are being born with blue eyes and white hair?" And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It is the second video that I've seen today that was like, that you know implied that somehow.
Okay, so we're gonna merge Max and Marson. Palestine and Israel unite. Ceasefire, genocide, unite. Here we go. Friends are useless. Marson just wants free talk to open therapy. Max at least has progressed.
Hey, this is Max Gruber. Thanks for calling. Leave a message.
Amazing. Amazing, Marson. Amazing. What are you doing tonight?
That was so weird. Somebody else called on the same number or some shit?
I tried to add my friend Max to our call. He didn't pick up.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, what the fuck? What the heck's going on? I'm like, yeah, beeping. Like.
Anyways, what are you doing? What have you done all day today? It's now 7:00.
I put together a basketball net, really. The basketball hoop thing.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. My life is so freaking exciting.
Amazing. Have you talked to Ken? Let's call his ass up. Actually, I don't have his number in this phone anymore. I had to get a new phone and I didn't transfer all the contacts.
Oh wow! Cannot believe I left a comment about how that shit is like some bullshit, and then she made a video about my comment. What the fuck, man? I'm not that popular. What is wrong with people?
Oh, hold on, it's Max. Let me merge the call. Hold on.
There.
Hey, Max.
Everything good with your mom?
Yeah, I mean, I basically kind of hung up on her. Hey, you're on the phone with Marson, FY. Marson, this is Max.
Hey man.
Hey, Marson, how's it going?
Say Max, right? Blue-eyed, blonde hair.
That's
Oh,
right.
Alright, yeah, so.
Same
Done
Marson.
for it. Yeah, same on me. Same on me.
Okay. You guys have hung out recently?
Mhm.
Hanging out. Are you guys hanging? Have you hung out recently? The two of you?
I haven't seen any of you guys recently.
Okay. What's going on, guys?
Don't ask Marson that because he's gonna say, "I don't know. You tell me."
What? I thought you were gonna bring up my TikTok conflict.
No, man, I don't want to bring up no Israeli fucking Palestinian bullshit. Cause Max, Marson's all up in this genocide ceasefire bullshit. He's all into it. But let's not talk about it. Marson, can you agree? Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, anyways, my sailboat, I paid $1,000, and supposedly the door got fixed, and now it's like not leaking. However, the engine, if we can figure out the engine, like we should be able to like successfully sail on my piece of shit engine. If I got to buy a new engine, okay, I'll buy a new engine. But like, I bought a couple books on sailboats, like how to sail, how to buy a boat, all these things, like all the words. So what I propose is we spend this summer researching, studying sailing, create like a free sailing lessons, sailing coaching, sailing communications business, and we just invite girls out to barbecues at my sailboat and do like an evening sunset sail every Friday, Saturday. And the whole thing is like a social media thing and like it's an educational thing on sailing, and we'll go to the playpen and we'll bring bitches. Like if you guys are down and you want to help me record audiobooks and read my fucking sailbook boats and help me be record content, like that's the best I could offer you. Is if I'll give you
Free of charge?
I'll get you pussy, but you gotta create content reading audiobooks about how to sail, because like the whole thing is to create a business about sailboats. Okay?
So you would charge these girls to come?
No. They're gonna come to the barbecue for free because like they get to go on a sunset sail cruise
Okay.
with
So
you,
where's
the sailboat, the sailing content expert, the content media expert.
I think I prefer the bikini business.
and so this is your business idea. Where's the revenue stream from?
I'm willing to invest one more year into this. So like this year I kind of just view this as like building out all the social media channels and like being a part of like the whole playpen scene and networking.
Mhm.
I would just view this as like a networking thing the first year, and then the second year we'll try to monetize with like some type of e-commerce business, like selling merchandise and sailing lessons.
Okay.
But honestly, like the sailing lesson stuff, it'll never make money. The only thing is like the whole thing is the playpen stuff. Like that content is gold because you capture people at their worst. So like we'll have our own um basically what's that E Network show like where Kanye went on. Anyways, I'm just saying like it's the playpen, man. Like you'll see the advantage when you are filming people at the playpen, like, and you can already get there. Like you could literally swim to my boat from your place, which is the coolest thing.
Well,
And in fact, that's what I want to do is like actually jump off my boat and like, go to Oak Street Beach and then swim back out to the boat. Like I want to be docked up this summer and like I want to figure out the engine and the sailing and like and finalize it cuz like supposedly it doesn't leak anymore. So and I've already paid for the slip and I'm not going to sell the boat. So I got the whole summer to create sailing content and I've already bought the books. So like
where
we're
you launch it?
huh?
Is it in the water?
Yeah, it's in the water. It's there, man. Like this guy Patrick says it's not gonna leak anymore.
Where did you find Patrick from?
Craigslist. Apparently he works on sailboats and shit. I never even talked to him on the phone yet, but he was sending me pictures of himself working on the boat.
Well, that's good.
So I'm just telling you, it's like don't, like this summer will be a great summer, but like the playpen and Lady Hawk is like the best thing I got going, and it's like I gotta capitalize on it this summer, and that means like coordinated communication.
Yeah. And are there any other improvement? You have the sales, right?
Listen, everything is good to go. The only thing is that engine, and like I'm thinking I might pop the engine off and then find this guy Pete's Automotive near me and be like, bro, I got this fucking engine. Like, we got to make this thing like work again. But we got to start it up and see if it'll run because it did run last time we ran it, but it sounded like shit. But that's what Chinese fucking engines sound like.
Yeah. And what about that electric one?
I don't know how to connect it to all the batteries that I bought. That's the challenge.
Okay.
But that one is like a supplementary. That one might be good for just getting us in and out without the gas. And that basically means just like photo shoots. Like you have to look at this thing as like a photo booth, not so much as like even like oh we're gonna get to the playpen, enjoy the whole day, and come back. Like I think you have to view this thing as like a personal photo booth opportunity. Like you should be on Hinge and Bumble talking to every single girl saying, "Hey, I own summer access rights to a sailboat. Like I want to
Yeah.
take you sailing." But what you really want to do is just do a photo session
Uh-huh.
because the like if it's just the electric motor, it's like, bitch, you can just like go out 100 feet and come back, but we're not sailing, bitch. Take a selfie. Because the whole thing is it's like it's just getting them there and they do want to go there and then the restaurant and the beach and everything else it's a whole experience.
Yeah.
It's a vibe and it's a location, and this is the second season that Lady Hawk is sailing, so I'm not going to make the same mistakes as last year.
Live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
You think you're happy with the name Lady Hawk? You're not gonna repaint it?
No, man, that's the only reason